right, you guys, what is going on? This your boy Town Biz. So I decided stream. I decided to do a stream because, and the title of this video stream is the pros and the cons in boxing, because there are pros, but then there are a lot of cons in boxing, and you've seen it over the years. You've seen this theme with a lot of these dudes are what you call manufactured and processed champions, and there are just certain fighters that you side-eyed and you kept your eye on who they was marketing for the past few years, and you seen that they wasn't what they were made out to be, the Triple G's of the world. And now you're starting to see it with Tank Davis, where Tank Davis, people are upset about him fighting Jake Paul, but then when you look at past videos and interviews of him, he was telling you back then, hey man, I'm not trying to be a legend. I'm not trying to be an all-time great. I'm not trying to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm trying to get my money and get out of here with minimal damage. And you seeing who Tank is. Tank is going to make a decent amount of money versus Jake Paul. I don't think he's going to make no 75 million. But I do think Tank is going to make something like $20 million because they're going to have Netflix backing this fight. Netflix has damn near unlimited money. And probably people are just going to subscribe to Netflix for a month just so they can, watch this fight possibly and then cancel their subscription. So let's just say they pick up, and this is just real talk, let's just say they pick up an extra 2 million subscribers within a month of this fight. And I think Netflix is like $27 a month or something now. I don't know how much I'm paying for my Netflix subscription, but it's almost $30 a month. So that's gonna be money for them. Netflix got I don't even know how many subscribers Netflix has. So they're gonna pick up subscribers just so they can watch this fight. It'll almost be like a pay-per-view when you really think about it. So it's kind of is gonna be a pay-per-view, but then it kind of isn't. So I'm also gonna talk about Paulie Malignaggi's, rant towards Tank Davis. He said something that had some truth to it, but it coincides with what I've been saying. Now all of a sudden that somebody like him said that it's a merit to it. Oh, it means something. But as far as Tank goes, I've been saying this for years. I told you Tank was the black version of Triple G. I started to see this I started to see this the past few years with Tank when they was asking him about fighting certain people. And Tank would talk around it. And then, Leonard Ellaby would talk around it. Oh, this fight right now doesn't make any kind of sense, when it made all the sense in the world. And I was on and I did a stream, where I had the homie, Jamil from YSM Media. And we was just talking about Tank. He says he thinks Tank is a complete fighter. I don't agree with that. I saw quite a few flaws in Tank's game where I knew he wasn't Floyd Mayweather, because Tank loses rounds. If you watch Tank, I've watched quite a few of his fights where he struggled, where he was possibly behind on the cards, or it was, neck and neck. So when you think about it, the grand scheme of things, the Jake Paul fight makes a lot of sense. In all likelihood, it's going to be an exhibition match, because it's no way the Georgia State Athletic Commission should sanction this as an actual fight. They have weight classes for reasons, because if that's the case, then why do we have weight classes? if they would try to sanction this as an actual fight that would go against either one's record, then hell, if that's the case, then you might as well have anyway fighting somebody like, you know what I'm saying, Jerron Ennis. Okay? Or you might as well have Keyshawn Davis fight Arthur Beterbiev. It's a reason why they have weight classes. Okay? Because if there's no need for a weight class, then anybody should just fight anybody. So this is why I know that this is going to be an exhibition match. Nobody in their right mind should believe that this is going to be an actual match that's going to be on both of these dudes' actual record. Of course not. It's an exhibition match. And I can tell you exactly how it's going to go. They're going to pity pat for a while. It's going to be a jab contest. It's going to be a jab contest. It's probably going to be sanctioned for maybe 8 3-minute rounds or something like that. It's going to be a jab contest. And then probably towards, the later half of the fight, probably towards the last 2 or 3 rounds, they're going to tell them to go at it, make it look interesting, start throwing combinations. Because when you look at it, come on, man, Jake Paul walk around at 215 pounds at least when he's not fighting. But I've said this for years about Tank, and people get mad. They try to, they try to attack you. They assassinate your character and all this kind of stuff. So I'm not surprised by this. This is the exact same path they did with Triple G. This is what they did with Triple G, and it worked. And Floyd saw this, and this is what they did with Tank. They market you as this killing machine, this unstoppable force. He gets these highlight reel knockouts. And then here's the thing. A lot of these dudes, they watch television. They watch, the internet, and they listen to what content creators and what the media say, and sometimes they fall for the trap. They get sucked into the hype. Then when they get the call, hey, you want to fight so-and-so, they go in there with a mental block. Like, oh man, I got to do whatever it takes to survive. So then they go in there already defeated. And then sometimes they go in there so scared to where when they get hit, mentally they already have lost. They already mentally broken down. And the punches is not even as hard as they think it is, but due to the fact that they've been going by what the media been saying. That's why they call it media. And that's why I laugh when I hear fighters say, oh, they don't listen to the media, they don't watch social. Come on, man, stop it. Of course you guys do. It's just real talk. And you saw that a lot with Triple G. And then it happened. It happened. Triple G finally fought somebody that stood up to him. Daniel Jacobs went down, and even Daniel Jacobs said after the interview. So he fought Daniel Jacobs. Daniel Jacobs went down. Daniel Jacobs got up. And Daniel Jacobs like, well, wait a minute. So then Daniel Jacobs just started to fight Triple G back. He actually started landing good combinations. And you saw Triple G start to panic. Because Triple G was looking like, wow, he's returning fire. And then what happens? Triple G wins a very controversial decision over Daniel Jacobs, where some people thought that Daniel Jacobs had such a good second half that maybe he should have got the nod. A lot of people thought Daniel Jacobs won that fight. So you started to see the beginning of the end for Triple G. Now, he still went on to knock people out, a few people. But then I think it gave other people confidence. And then you started to see Triple G being carefully matched, which he was in the first place. This is why if you look at Triple G's resume, it doesn't speak Hall of Famer. But you know, HBO, they helped build him up. But look how Triple G maneuvered around Andre Ward, a guy that he said he would fight. Andre Ward tried to make the fight, and Triple G's team was like, leave him alone. His fans was like, tell Andre Ward to leave Triple G alone. So you seeing the same thing. So you basically seeing the same thing with Tank that you saw in Triple G. You started to see a little bit of Triple G's confidence leave with him after that Daniel Jacobs fight, because Triple G started to believe his own hype so much based off what people was telling him, and he actually had a dude that didn't follow the script. And that's what happened back in March with Tank and Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach didn't follow the script as a dude that was just gonna go in there and basically fall into the trap and, you know, basically mentally enhance Tank's punching. He took Tank's best shots and he didn't go down. He actually hit Tank back, actually wobbled Tank a couple of times. And then after the fight, you saw Tank make all these excuses about why he performed under par, according to Tank standards and his fan standards. I knew when Tank was making them excuses, I was thinking to myself, he probably not gonna fight Lamont Roach again. And look what happened. Shamefully ducks. When I say he shamefully ducks Lamont Roach. And then has the audacity to try to say, oh, I'm putting food in your mouth and I'm taking it out. Like, dude, you sound like a straight hoe. But this is how Tank been maneuvering. Remember, Turkey offered him like $20 million to fight Devin Haney, a dude that he kept saying that he was gonna do dirty. But then he says, oh, well, he got to give me 2 Ferraris because he made me mad. So I was like, yeah, this is Tank. This is who he is. So now we have him set to fight Jake Paul in Atlanta in November. So why are people surprised? But now, instead of the Tank fans just accepting the fact that he ain't who he was made out to be, now they trying to say, oh, he gonna make way more money in this. Now the guzzling comes. Oh, he gonna make way more money fighting. Why bother with Lamont Roach? He gonna make more money. Oh, this fight gonna do better. The ratings for this fight is gonna do better than Terrence Crawford. What the fuck do that got to do with Tank ducking Lamont Roach? See, this is what they do. This is what they do. I've looked at Tank's resume. I've said this before. Tank's resume is not that impressive. He has names, but at the end of the day, it's all about timing. You can sit up there and say, oh, well, he beat Ryan Garcia, the dude that beat Devin Haney. We all know what's up with that. Y'all can keep denying the steroid stuff and the PDs all you want. Which I'm going to get to that. I'm going to talk about that later on. You can use that as excuse. Now, the funny thing is, and that's what I'm saying also, you had a lot of these black fighters, you know, buck dancing, tap dancing, you know, cooning for Ryan Garcia. But the funny thing is, Tank stipulated Ryan Garcia to death. Somebody has to tell the truth about this dude. And it's me. I've been saying this. And Tank and his team, they hold grudges too. They hold grudges against certain media. And particularly the melanated media that don't sit up there and kiss Tank's pinky ring. You know, he whines to his team, to Leonard Ellaby. Then Leonard Ellaby whines to, you know, the media people, and then they don't want to let us in. Well, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. And this is why the PBC, and I'm gonna say this is why the PBC has intentionally, you know, ostracized me in certain media from covering their fights. But then you got dudes that want to tell us to stay on code and don't talk about Al Heyman and don't talk about, you know, the PBC because it was started by a black man. Well, what's up with the black man doing black media like this? And I'm gonna say this again, a lot of those PBC niggas, they dog black media out. You go, and then when you get into these PBC events, or you go to a PBC events, you know, these black, so-called black fighters like those goofballs, the Charlos, yeah, I said it, and you can send this video to them. They act funny with black media. You seen how Jamal was cooning, you know, defending Tiafimo and guys like that who say racist stuff. And that's why I don't care to be around them dudes. It's not to the point to where now I want to be around them. I really don't now, because they really don't do nothing for me. Because y'all gonna have to understand, I come from a different time. I'm about to be 51 years old next month. And all this cooning and buck dancing that you see with a lot of these fighters, is sickening. It's sickening. So I just have to tell the truth. Now, I'm gonna say this. Getting to the Boots thing, I've already said this. I've spoken behind the scenes. I'm gonna say this much: as far as Boots go, you know, with the Canelo thing, I don't care for it, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't have done it, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. I wouldn't have did it. And the thing is, I've criticized Boots about his opponent selection at times, but it is what it is, and you just got to keep it a buck. For whatever reason, there always seem to be a yeah, but, or a question mark with Boots when it pertains to getting certain fights made. I'm not dissing Boots, I'm not dissing the city of Philadelphia, but it is what it is. And like I say, Boots and his father, they've been good to me. They've granted me interviews. They granted my team interviews. But that's not going to deter me from just saying, you know, it just always seemed to be something that deters Boots from getting certain fights that we want to see him in. Now they're saying that the Virgil Ortiz fight is a lock. Okay, cool. I have inside information that the Virgil Ortiz fight is set in stone. All Virgil Ortiz got to do is take care of business against Lubin. And then, you know, Boots got to take care of business in October. And then they're saying sometime, maybe in March, okay, we got to fight. And that's all I'm looking for. I think it's going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be a great fight. I'm looking forward to it. At the end of the day, I think it'll be an interesting fight. I do think Virgil Ortiz power is the difference maker. I think Boots should be able to outbox him and maybe even probably stop him in the later rounds. But at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, Virgil Ortiz, he can pop. And this is going to be a test for Boots. I think Virgil Ortiz Jr. will be the hardest puncher that Boots will have faced. So I do think eventually Virgil Ortiz is going to land something. So we want to see how Boots reacts. But so far, Boots is shown to have a stern chin. Now, like I said before, I don't care for this thing with Canelo Alvarez. That's my honest opinion. I would tell Boots if he asked me. And I would tell his father, you know. Now, I plan on going to Philadelphia to try to cover the fight. You know. By then, we'll be focused on Boots. You know, the Terrence Crawford, Canelo fight will have passed. And that's just basically it. Now, I'm going to say this as far as... and I'm just going to address this because I did a video about this. As far as the whole thing about people telling us black people, we, you know, are telling content creators we can't feel some kind of way about, you know, Boots working with Canelo. You don't have the right to tell us how to feel about that, especially if you're not black. I'm gonna say this again: if you're not black, this ain't none of your motherfucking business, so stay the fuck out of this. And then I see that some of these Mexican so-called fight fans are now all of a sudden talking about, why are you making this about race? Oh, black and brown unite. Bullshit. The only reason why you saying this because you think this is gonna benefit Canelo, because you thinking the Mexican fighter is gonna win. You wouldn't be saying, for real, you wouldn't be saying this if this was the other way around. So stop acting like you don't practice tribalism like anybody else. But the problem is, what make me mad is these black people on here that be trying to play stupid and acting like boxing ain't race oriented. I told you the more, and 7-8 spoke on this, and I've spoke on this several times. Like I said, I'm not dancing the jig. I'm not putting on a minstrel show to get no subscribers. So, like I said, if you think I'm going to do what some of these other YouTube niggas be doing, if you think I'm going to be walking around, you know, talking like a fool, you know, if you think I'm going to be like that bug-eyed Garfield the cat-looking nigga, you sadly mistaken. If you think I'm going to be like some of these other dudes on here, you sadly mistaken. I'm going to be me. I keep telling y'all, I could have been had... Hey, if I would have put on a minstrel show and been buck dancing like some of these other dudes have been doing, I could have been had 200,000 subscribers. I could have been did that. And if I constantly attacked black people and black fighters, no, I'm not going down that avenue. I'm not driving down Coon Boulevard or you know what I'm saying, Sambo Lane, like some of these other dudes be doing. I ain't got to say no names. You know who these dudes are. You know who they are, and you know what they all about, and you know how they get down. That will not be me. That will not be me. And like I said, that pisses me off that you got people trying to tell black people who are not black that we can't root for Terrence Crawford, or it's racist if we root for Terrence Crawford because he's black. That, you sound stupid. Like I said, we the only ones that's made to feel guilty about rooting for our own. We always have to have we belong to everybody, and that we're everybody's community property. That's why we don't have shit right now as we speak. So that's just real talk. You won't get that from me. So who are we supposed to root for? So we supposed to root for Canelo. Why? Canelo isn't black and he isn't American. So if you're not going to root for Bud because he's black, at least root for him because he's American. Listen, I remember this rabbit hole. People talk that root for pride and country when, you know, the dude happened not to be black. Then it's you know, root for the dude because he's American. But if he black, then all of a sudden, oh well, you know, have an open mind. You know, that's just some of the BS that they throw towards us. I saw this with Floyd and Manny Pacquiao. Going into this fight, they were trying to pull this 10 years ago, going into Floyd versus Manny Pacquiao. When people were saying, well, I'm rooting for Floyd because he's black. Oh, you can't do that. Why not? well, you should root for Manny Pacquiao because, you know, he ain't had issues outside of the ring like Floyd. What? Are you, wait a minute. Manny Pacquiao ain't had issues outside of the ring? Also, you haven't heard about Manny Pacquiao's numerous extramarital affairs that even he admitted to. Manny Pacquiao has had legal issues with law enforcement. So, what about that? And listen, I don't have no issue with Filipino people at all. But at the same time they allowed to root for their guy, I should be allowed to root for my guy, which is the black fighter. I'm gonna say this again. When I hear black content creators that be saying you can't do stuff like that, you sound stupid as fuck and you showing that you a coon. And like I said, a lot of these dudes do that stuff. They pick and choose when they want to try to wag their finger and talk about, oh, so-called racism. Like I said, you had a lot of these Negroes cooning it up for views when Devin Haney made his remark about, hey, I'll never lose to a white boy. And not only did you have people that wasn't black, in particularly Hispanic, speaking on this, knowing they got a history of saying racist stuff about black people and black fighters. Oh, I'm horrified at what Devin Haney said. Man, come on, man. And then Devin Haney had to apologize and all this stuff. But yet, Tiafimo did said all kind of racist stuff about black people. Sergey Kovalov has implied and said racist stuff about black people. No problem. Paulie Malignaggi then said racist stuff about black people. Now, he did get removed. So, to a certain degree, he did pay a little bit of a price. But for the most part, they didn't got away with it. Ryan Garcia went on a racist rant about black people. And then you had people trying to attack black people for being pissed off. Oh, you guys are too emotional. But then, like I say, as soon as you say something about them, then all of a sudden they start crying. They want to play victim. See, that's the difference between me and other people. And I'm gonna say this again. You damn right I'm rooting for Terrence Crawford because he black. You damn right. You damn right I'm rooting for Terrence Crawford. But like I said, this is what they do. All of a sudden, they don't want to have a conversation about racism. And people tried to dumb down what Ryan Garcia said. He said the N-word with the hard ER. And you had every coon ass nigga trying to defend it, or they just didn't talk about it. But they all had something to say about what Devin Haney said. Oh, you can't go around saying stuff. Now, if a white person or Mexican said to, and they went on to say it. And then there was no backlash. All these so-called, let's not make it about race, they disappeared. Or they was trying to use the Jedi mind trick. Hey man, you know what? Just let it slide. You know, you had a lot of these niggas defended Ryan Garcia. You had people saying, well, what he says doesn't reflect on me. When I hear black people say that, that's instantly, you know, the sign for coon talk. That's coon talk. That's how handkerchief heads talk. That's deflection. And that's why I didn't respect a lot of these boxing dudes. This is why I don't congregate. This is why I don't do debates. I rarely go on other people's platforms. I get invited to come on platforms all the time and do debates. But for what? I'm just gonna be honest. I don't like a lot of these dudes. I don't like a lot of these dudes, and I'm not doing that. I've debunked so many of these fake theories, just like I debunked the whole thing about Devin Haney suing and all that. Oh, that was weak and all that kind of stuff to sue somebody. Now here it is. Look at this situation with Quentin Rampage Jackson and his son. I'm gonna say this much: Quentin Rampage Jackson, you on your own, because you was dancing the jig, you was buck dancing, you was one of the people that defended Ryan Garcia, you, John Jones. But then again, John Jones is a drug cheat. Quentin Rampage Jackson is a drug cheat. And Quentin Rampage Jackson, the funny thing about him, he a hypocrite. This is a dude that was going around accusing people of using PEDs. But then here he is talking about, oh, Devin Haney a bitch. You a bitch, Quentin Rampage Jackson. You a bitch. Now look how everybody didn't turn their back on you. Look how these boxers and stuff. Look how Blair the Flair is cooning it up. Yeah, I said it, Blair, because you is cooning. Now all of a sudden you talking about crashing out and roid rage and all this kind of stuff. But you dismissed the fact that Ryan Garcia cheated against Devin Haney. That's what I'm saying. And then you got Ryan Garcia, and look, and the funny thing about it, look what happened with Quentin Rampage Jackson and his son. He sat up there defending Ryan Garcia, and Ryan Garcia threw his son under the bus. All these niggas that was protecting Ryan Garcia, look what's going on with Deion Sanders. Look how it's you know what I'm saying? Look how it's basically an effort to get both of his sons out of professional football. There ain't no future, and that's just real talk. There ain't no future in cooning. It ain't. So look how they look what they doing to Deion. You had like I said, you had a lot of these gutless ass fighters. They heard what Ryan Garcia said. All these dudes taking, and then they was taking pictures of him. You had all these dudes like Keyshawn Davis taking pictures with that dude. Hey man, you say you want to kill my people, man. I don't want to be around you. You say you want to dig up somebody's grave and delete them again. I don't want to be around. It ain't no coming back from that. And shout out to Rolly for calling Ryan Garcia out. And the only one that called Ryan Garcia out for saying that racist stuff that was Mexican was Virgil Ortiz Jr. When he said that, Virgil Ortiz Jr. said, dude, you need help, dude. Something is wrong with you. And he got, and that's the thing. They love trying to police us black people, telling us that we need to try to police black people. And nah, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that. Fuck that shit. If y'all don't do it, y'all don't police y'all people, so don't ask me to police mine. When y'all start policing y'all people, then I'll consider it. But too many times, that's the thing. And that's just real talk. So I'm just saying, I'm just keeping it a buck. Somebody got to say this stuff. Like I said, now where's Ryan Garcia? Like I said, Quentin Rampage Jackson and his son got a history of defending racists. They was defending that dude. They was defending that racist Pakistani and Indian dude. Oh man, I don't think he a racist. That's what black people do. And Blue is right. There ain't no code. We don't follow the code. We should. Hey, you know why that serial killer Dexter didn't manage to get away so far with doing the stuff that he do? Like he say, every episode, what do Dexter talk about? He talk about following the code. And he try not to break that code no matter what. Because he was taught a code. But black people ain't got no code, because black people want everybody to like them. See, that's the difference between me and a lot of these other people on here. I don't want everybody to like me. And if I gotta be a complete phony on social media to get likes and views, nah, not gonna do it. I just can't do it. Can't do it. Won't do it. I told you, if you a truth sayer on here, they not gonna like you. And it does coincide with what Paulie was saying. When you make sense, they don't like you. And there is this trajectory of how they want you as a black person. The more of a minstrel show you put on here, the more they gonna like you. And I'm not finna be nobody's jester. I can't do that. It's easy. Listen, I can tell you right now, I can tell you right now, saying this while I'm doing the live stream, I could have 50,000 subscribers, and I'm finna give, you know, you coons in training. I'm finna give you some preparation. I'm finna give you some game. If you want to get, 50,000 subscribers, I'm finna give you some game. I'm finna give you some game. If you want to go the cheap route to building up your channel, all you got to do is say stupid stuff. All you got to do, it's been proven. All you got to do is talk like Jason Whitlock, Candace Owens, Officer Coonum, be politically correct no matter what the case is. Even in boxing, it's always the black dude's fault. Constantly attack black people, constantly attack black fighters. Always wag your finger at black people or black fighters. And the racists will come out in droves. They'll love you. They'll say, see, this is a fair assessment of it. See, I like guys like you. That's the easy way. That is the easiest way to get subscribed. I could have been doing that stuff. That's all I got to do. If I was just to switch over and erase this stream, and just all of a sudden, and I'm finna keep 100. All I got to do, I tell you right now, if I made videos saying, you know what, I thought about it, I could probably leave this video up and people still would, start following me. If I made videos saying, you know what, if black people would just comply, they wouldn't get harassed by the police. It's always the black guy. He deserved it. George Floyd, he was this, he was that. It's his fault. Then all of a sudden, here they come. Oh, man, this is what I'm talking about. Sean, ain't nothing I said is BS. So you can see your way out. So, you know what I'm saying? Dante is the exception. And for most of the part, Dante be telling the truth. But guess what? Dante, those 300,000 subscribers he got, it took him years to get that. He been on here for years. These other dudes, they did it within a year. They did it within a 2 to 3 year period. You don't know what you're talking about. Don't come on my channel crying, dude. I will run you the fuck off my channel. So don't come on here trying to pop off at the mouth. I will run you off my channel with the quickness. And you can go do a video talking about town businesses, had a meltdown, or he cried. Bro, that stuff don't bother me because I don't care what people like you think. That's just real talk. So don't come on here trying to challenge what I'm saying. Everything I'm saying is facts. So go cry somewhere else. Now, funny thing is, I know Ego. Ego is a friend of mine. Have you seen Ego? Since you accusing Ego of making stuff about rape, have you seen all his videos about Terrence Crawford? Have you seen his videos about Devin Haney? Ego is black. Devin Haney is black. Bill Haney is black. Terrence Crawford is black. So how can you sit up there and say something like that? See, you don't know what you're talking about. Now, as far as Dante goes, shout out to Dante's Boxing Nation, because Dante gave me my start. Dante gave me my start as far as media go. So at the end of the day, shout out to Dante. Shout out to Dante. I have nothing bad to say about Dante, because Dante gave me my start. You know, Dante living it up in Thailand, good for him. Shout out to Dante. I have nothing bad to say about Dante. So, you know, I'm not going to say your name, you know, because you full of it. And that's the thing, though. There ain't no such thing as crying about race. So, based off the fact that you said that, you already showing me how dumb you are and ignorant you are to say that stuff isn't about race. See, he the type of person that I'm talking about. He the type of person when somebody direct racism towards a black person, he the type of people that I'm talking about that'll say, hey, let it go, or he won't say nothing at all. But then if a black person talks about race, then all of a sudden he gets bothered. Like somebody care what he think. Because I really could say something real mean to you, dude. But I'm gonna be cool. You can post, you can post it in, you can post it in the comment section and I'll take a look at it. You know, one thing about me, as long as you don't disrespect the host, then it's all good. Listen, I'm gonna say this, we can have a difference of opinion. That's fine, as long as we don't be disrespectful about it. But let me get to Paulie Malignaggi, because I'm getting close to work. Now, Paulie Malignaggi, I don't know when he made these claims. He was saying that, you know, Tank Davis was a hype job and all this kind of stuff, which it's merit to it. There's a lot of merit to Tank Davis being a hype job. But he was saying that basically now they only like to promote the so-called ghetto, loudmouth black fighter, which is some merit to that. But the funny thing is, when I was saying it, nobody wanted to hear it. Now, I've been saying this for years. Andre Ward was a great fighter. I want somebody to tell me what boring fight Andre Ward was in. Andre Ward gave us great fights. But due to the fact Andre Ward wasn't a rah-rah, you know, dude that embarrassed himself, embarrassed his family, Andre Ward should have been the ideal guy. Married with children. Married very early. You know, I think Andre Ward was married like by the time he was 20, had children. Same thing with Lennox Lewis. They don't like those type of black guys. But if you act like Tank and talk like Tank, which by the way, Tank ain't really all that hood. And that's another thing. Just because a dude got a whole bunch of tattoos don't mean, like I keep saying, oh, they got, and I hear that ignorance with black people all the time, how we look down on black people. Oh man, your family had money. Oh, you came from the suburbs. There's a controversy with that with Jadakiss. Jadakiss had his father, you know, on Joe Budden's show. And you know, now Jadakiss is sitting up here arguing about whether he came with money and stuff. Like, I gotta say this, and this is just real talk. The only people, and see, this is where black people get messed up at. This is how we've been brainwashed. This is what television and film had done to us. And most of these films have been produced and put out by white people. See, the studios, or even if they're written by black people, the studio loves those type of movies or TV shows. See, we the only ones that talk stupid like that. Oh man, You know, you went to Catholic school, man. You went to Catholic school, man. You didn't get it from the mud, man. We the only ones that say that stupid shit. We the only ones that celebrate this stuff. Man, you came from a 2-parent household and stuff. And that's what I was trying to tell you about the subliminal racism in the NFL and in sports when it pertains to the black athlete. That's another reason why they don't care for Shedeur Sanders. Because like I said, he don't have no storyline because he came with money. But that is the perception. But then black people don't try to dismiss it. The only ones that get on here and talk stupid like that. Hey man, you man, I don't respect you, man. You the fuck? And we really believe that it resonates to blackness. And then it doesn't help that our black women help promote that kind of stuff too. When they constantly go on social media and say, oh, I don't want no nice dude. Nice dudes are boring. I like dudes that get that's in a bag, that get it from the streets and all that type of shit. Now, that's the thing though. See, this is where I'm finna drop the mic on you hypocritical black women. Oh, okay, so you won't be with a black dude that quote unquote works a 9 to 5, and you really don't want a black dude that make 200 grand a year. A lot of y'all like the brokest bum ass nigga that you could possibly get with, because if that's the case, you would see all these $200,000 a year black dudes, they would have black wives. But the funny thing is, you don't want the so-called boring black dude that have a 9 to 5, but then all of a sudden you'll complain about how you're getting mistreated by Pookie and Tyrone, but then you'll marry a white dude or a non-black that make $200,000 a year and that have a 9 to 5. But you won't go marry no white thug though. So there you have it. I just dropped the mic. I just dropped the mic. Boom. So that's why when I see these videos about black women complaining about why they can't listen, I don't want to hear that shit. They the problem. But this is what has been promoted to us. We the only ones. That's a sickness when we sit up here and say, hey man, if you ain't been to prison, you ain't really black. If you ain't got a criminal record, hey, I wish I didn't have no criminal record. I wish I didn't have one. I wish I didn't have one. So I'm just saying all that coincides with what I've been talking about. So all that stuff is what I'm talking about. Black women have played a very pivotal role where they want to take accountability, whether they want to admit it or not. They have played a very pivotal role in the destruction of the black household and the destruction of the black man. That's just fact. That's fact. Whether they want to hear it or not. I hear all the I don't want a guy that works a 9 to 5. That's boring. That's boring. Well, okay, cool. So you don't want William that works a 9 to 5 that makes $100K a year, but you'll take Scott, the white boy that works a 9 to 5. See, it's a you know what I'm saying? It's a mental block. And this is the type of shit that's been sold to black people that's poison our community, poison our men, poison our women. You hear this shit all the time. What you hear about Devin Haney? Oh, Devin Haney went to private school. He had he went to private school. He didn't go like listen, I'm gonna say this, but ain't nothing wrong with going to private school, ain't nothing wrong with going to regular school. Education is an education. But once again, we call that like that don't even make no kind of sense whatsoever. I thought the ideal lifestyle and our goal as a parent is to make sure our kids don't go through what we went through. I thought our goal as parents is to provide a better life. So let me get this straight. So if I run into some money, I'm supposed to live in the worst neighborhood possible. Now listen, I don't want to mighty whitey all white neighborhood, but I do want to live in a more safer area. As far as education go, do we have to go to private school? No. But do I want him to go to a school where they have good teachers that really put emphasis on making sure the kids progress and learn? Of course. But yeah, man, I just wanted to speak on that. But anyway, I gotta get to work. It's your boy Ted, I'm out.